So good evening, and thanks a million for joining me on the yoga mat this evening. This week's focus is on mobility. So just a quick little explanation about basic difference between flexibility and mobility. So a lot of people come to the yoga mat trying to gain more flexibility, which is great in itself. So it's all about kind of lengthening the muscle fibers and the muscle tissues, and it creates a nice kind of restorative feeling and a nice kind of stretchy feeling to the muscles. But if we just keep continuing to stretch into the muscles and that's all we do, well then over time those muscles are going to become very lax and actually weakened, and the opposing muscles are going to become really tight, overactive and weakened as well. Okay, so what mobility is more about kind of moving the body through its planes of motion. It's more about engaging the muscles around the joints. It is stretching, but it's also engaging. Okay, so it's kind of combining stabilizing with flexibility and kind of bringing it all together. So with flexibility, a lot of our poses are static, and sometimes we use aids like our strap or our block or the wall or a body weight. With mobility, it's generally relying on the muscles of the body themselves. So we're not kind of using so many props, and it's all about kind of moving with the body. And then with the motions that we use in yoga, hoping that they will transfer then to our everyday movements as well. So it's a little bit more applicable to our everyday movements as opposed to holding just one pose for a very, very long time. So we're going to be working within our natural range of motion. So we're not going into any hypermobile states. I want you to listen to the body. So go as deep as it feels good and stop, and then allow the breath or the weight of the body or the body itself bring itself a little bit further. So don't force it when we're working into our mobility. So we're going to start in a nice, easy cross-legged seat. Relax the shoulders, draw the belly in, lengthening through the crown of the head, and just really feeling that lovely attachment to the core as we draw the belly in. We're going to open the palms to the ceiling, and we'll inhale the arms out, reaching up. Interlock fingers, press palms to the ceiling as we exhale, press the palms forward and really stretch between the shoulder blades. And we'll do that 2 more times. So a nice big stretch as we inhale, look up. And as we exhale, press forward and release. So we'll do that 1 more time. Lovely. We're going to reverse the crisscross of the legs, just to bring a wee bit of balance into those hips. Hands are rested, palms down on the knees. We're going to inhale, draw the chest all the way over to the right as we lean. Feel that nice release in the left glute. Bring it through center, all the way over to the left. And as we exhale, curl through the spine, tuck the chin into the chest. And we're going to continue with those lovely full big circles. Lengthening forward as we inhale, tucking the chin in as we exhale, and getting a nice little stretch into the neck, into the upper spine. See if we can roll a little bit through those shoulder joints here. Drawing the shoulders forward, drawing the back, maybe even roll into the neck a little bit. So again, making it nice and flowy, so not forced. And then we're going to reverse those circles in the opposite direction. Trying to fold forward as deeply as we can, but again, not forcing it. Those hands on the knees, we're kind of gently pushing ourselves into that movement. So using that hand and knee connection to lever ourselves, particularly into that fold. Again, just let it flow. Anything that feels good. Eventually, we're going to meet back at center, opening the palms. We're going to mobilize that spine. Inhale the arms out, reaching up. As we exhale, gently twist to the right. Place the left hand just above the knee, right hand on the ground behind us. As we inhale, press the hand into the ground, lengthen tall through the spine. And as we exhale, we're twisting from the lower back, make it through the ribcage into the chest, and we're looking over that right shoulder. Pressing the left hand into the leg, see if we can draw ourselves a little bit deeper into that twist. As we inhale, think about creating space between the vertebrae. And as we exhale, we're working into that space. So really important as we mobilize the spine, that we're mobilizing it from a lengthened state. We're not compressing into those discs. So nice and tall as we inhale, and release as we exhale. We're going to inhale gently back through center, take a little twist to the left just to release, and then back to center again. Reverse the crisscross 1 more time, again balancing out those hips. Open the palms, and we'll inhale the arms out, reaching up. As we exhale, gently twist to the left, place the right hand just above the knee, heel of the left hand close to the lower back. As we inhale, press the hand into the ground, lengthen tall. And as we exhale, we're twisting to the left, looking over the left shoulder, maybe pressing the right hand into the leg. Again, starting that twist in the lower back and moving it all the way up through to the neck. Lengthening on the inhale, releasing on the exhale. One more breath. And then inhale back through center as we exhale, little twist to the right, just release. And then back to center again. We're going to work into those shoulder joints. So we're going to use our strap or our towel or our pillowcase, so whatever you have at hand. I'm going to drape it across the knees and catch hold of the strap just a little bit wider than the knees apart. As we inhale, press the strap forward and up overhead. And as we exhale, bend through the elbows, draw the elbows in toward the waist. Engage those shoulders. Inhale, press up, take the gaze up. Exhale, press forward, really round in between those shoulder blades. We'll do that 2 more times. So again, we're gazing forward and up. Forward as we draw down. Inhale, press up, follow the gaze. Exhale, press forward. We'll do that 1 more time. So just getting a little bit of movement into those shoulder joints, really strong in the arms and really strong in the shoulder blades. I want you to imagine you're trying to grip something between those shoulder blades. Excellent. We're going to take the grip a little bit wider so the arms are straight, but there's a gentle softness to those elbows. We're going to inhale, press forward and up. This time as we exhale, keeping the arms lengthened, we're going to draw the strap down toward the lower back. Inhale, press up, follow the gaze. Exhale, press forward. And we do that 2 more times. Again, if we're finding that one arm is going down before the other, just widen the grip. We're looking for a nice balanced movement here. And again, likewise, if you find that you're not finding it challenging enough, you can bring those hands a little bit closer toward each other. So we're just flossing out the shoulder joints, mobilizing, opening into the heart, engaging with the shoulder muscles. Last one. And then forward and release. We're going to inhale the strap up overhead. This time as we exhale, we're going to draw the right hand down to the right until the left arm brushes the ear. And then gently take the gaze toward that wrist. We're going to inhale, press through both arms. And as we exhale, hinge a little bit more to the right. Inhale, press through the arms. Exhale, hinge. 1 more breath here. So we're not totally compressing into that right side. We're getting a little bit extra into the left. Inhale all the way back up through center. And as we exhale, drop the left hand to the left until that right arm brushes the right ear, right back in line with the ear. Take the gaze toward the wrist. As we inhale, press away through both arms. And as we exhale, draw that left hand down a little bit more as we hinge to the left. Inhale, active through the arms. Exhale, hinge. 1 more breath. Inhale back through center. And then exhale, release it forward. Lovely. We're going to release the strap off to the side for now. A little bit into the neck while we're here. So we're going to interlock the fingers and then we're going to place the palms of the hands to the top of the crown or the back of the crown of the head and allow those elbows relax and release, and then gently tuck the chin toward the chest until we start to feel a nice release into the neck and all the way into the upper traps. So right up into the upper back. And again, we can stay here. This might be intense enough in itself. Again, those hands are just rested there. We're not tugging through the neck. If you want to bring a little bit more movement, we're going to inhale center, keep the chin tucked in, and as we exhale, look as far over to the right as we can. Inhale back to center. Exhale, take the gaze all the way over to the left and continue with your own breath, left to right. Breathing through the center. Exhaling to the side. Again, relax the elbows, relax the arms. And again, not forcing it. So just a nice gentle release. We're going to meet back at center. Gently bring the gaze forward, release the hands back toward the knees. And we're going to look up toward the ceiling. Allow the head tilt. And then see if you can bring the lower jaw to touch the upper. So we're closing those teeth. We're really trying to bring a nice little stretch into the front of the neck here. Breathing in and out softly through the nose. And then slowly release back to center. Okay, we're going to get into those hips. Picking the right foot up, we place it into the left hand, knee into the right hand, roll the toe toward the knee, sit as tall as we can. Gently bring the shin a little bit higher if it feels okay. And then we're going to rock into that right hip really slowly. So again, gently mobilizing into that right hip joint. Try to create as much space that is there. So again, we're not forcing the leg. Those hands are just there to guide, but try to go to your full range here if you can, your full natural range. So your body's going to let you know pretty soon where it wants to stop. So there shouldn't be any pain. It's just a nice little bit of space into that right hip joint. Warming up. Nice one to do if the hips are very, very tight and a static stretch just feels like a little bit too much. This is a really nice way of just tuning in with those hips. We're going to meet back at center when you're ready. Options here to either place the right foot on top and come into easy cross-legged, or we can stack the right ankle on top of the left knee, the right knee on top of the left ankle, and we're coming into log pose, drawing the toes toward the knees, nice and strong here. If that right knee is very high, I'd probably advise you to go into easy cross-legged until the hips are a little bit more open. If it's just floating off, just see if we can press that right knee down a little bit more. We're going to inhale nice and tall, relax the shoulders back. And as we exhale, gently fold, leaning from the lower back, leading with the chest. Relax the head and neck. As we inhale, draw the chest forward, lengthening the spine. As we exhale, fold a little bit more. If we're quite close to the ground, we can always bring the hands out in front, transferring our center of gravity forward. Every inhale, lengthening. Every exhale, fold. And again, if folding is not for you, feel free to stay seated and just really work into that lovely hip space. We're just going to get an extra little release into the spine and glute here. One more breath. Gently tuck the chin in. We're going to walk the hands back toward the body, and then we can rest that right foot back to the ground. We're going to pick the left foot up, place it into the right hand, draw the toes toward the knee, place the knee into the left hand again, sit nice and tall, draw the shin a little bit higher if it feels good, and then gently rock, rocking nice and slowly into that left hip. And again, just notice how it feels comparing to the other side. Is it a little bit easier? Is it a little bit more restricted? So again, just tuning into what's going on in that left hip joint. Nice and slow, kneading it out. Relax the breath. Bringing all that energy into the left hip. We're going to meet back at center when you're ready. Again, option to come back into easy cross-legged with the left foot on top. Or we can stack the left ankle on top of the right knee, the left knee on top of the right ankle, and draw those toes toward the knee. So log pose. So again, this is an intermediate pose, so don't feel you have to go here if it feels a little bit too much of the hips or the knees this evening. We're going to inhale nice and tall, lengthening, and as we exhale, fold. So we can fold in log or easy cross-legged, lengthening forward through the crown of the head, and as we exhale, allow the body fold a little bit more. If we're in our fold, we want to transfer the weight forward, we can bring the hands forward, gripping the fingertips to the ground. See if you can work them out a little bit further. And then we're going to press the ground away and really draw those sit bones back. So every inhale, lengthen. Every exhale, release. One more breath. Gently tuck the chin in, slowly walk the hands back toward the body. All the way back up to seat. We're going to bring that left foot out in front, right foot out to meet it. Feet are a little bit wider than hip width distance apart. Hands come behind us, fingertips point back. We're going to press into the ground, open into the heart, relax the shoulders back. We'll inhale here, and as we exhale, drop the knees to the right as we look over the left shoulder. Inhale back through center, exhale knees to the left as we look over the right shoulder. And continue here with your own breath. Again, making sure those feet are wide enough apart that you have enough room for the opposite knee to fall behind the opposite foot. Getting a nice little stretch and release into both the inner and the outer hip. We're engaging and releasing. And again, if you want a little bit more core involvement, Next time we come to center, we're going to bring the hands to heart, press the palms together and continue with the movement. So again, we're getting rid of the support of those arms, kind of encouraging ourselves to engage with those core muscles a little bit more. We're still looking the opposite way as to where those knees are falling. So we're still getting a nice little spinal mobilization. Relax the breath. You'll probably find those sit bones are starting to shift forward. You're coming a little bit closer to the screen. That's perfectly normal. We're going to meet at center when you're ready. Make our way back onto the mat if we're off it. And then from here, we're going to come to lie on the mat. Just make sure you have your block and your strap beside you. Lying back onto the ground. Knees are bent, feet are flat to start with. Hugging that right knee in. Straightening the left leg. We're going to continue into that right hip. Right hand rests on the knee, left hand on the left hip. And we'll draw those little circles into the right hip. Keeping the lower back grounded. Maybe moving the fingertips to rest on the knee, making the circle a little bit larger. And if that feels good, we can bring the right hand to the ground beside us and make those circles as full, as round as we possibly can. We're going to bring the full length of that right leg into the movement. So we're straightening the leg, pressing away through the heel, drawing the knee across the body, into the chest, opening as wide as we can into that right hip. Really exaggerating the movement here. And then we're going to reverse those circles, opposite direction, still going for maximum range. And slow it right down. And as we slow the movement down, we're encouraging those hip muscles to engage a little bit more. So slow doesn't mean easy in yoga. Slow generally means more difficult because we're really having to focus on fully engaging those muscles. Relax the shoulders down toward the ground, focusing all that energy into the hip. And then when you're ready, we're going to hug the right knee into the chest, give it a nice little squeeze. And then right hand stays on the shin, left hand on the hip. We're going to inhale, press the shin into the hand, and as we exhale, allow that right knee drop out to the side. So we're working into a lovely psoas stretch here. As we inhale, press shin into hand. And as we exhale, work the right knee out a little bit more. We'll take 2 more breaths here, keeping the left side of the body grounded, keeping that lower back connected to the mat. Last one. And gently bringing the knee back in toward the chest, but slightly toward the right armpit. So we're still working into the psoas, just not as deep. And then we're going to inhale, point through the toes. And as we exhale, draw those right toes toward the knee. So we're inhaling, pointing. And we're exhaling, flexing. Continue with your own breath, just a little bit of ankle mobility here while we're on our back. Looking after our foundations. Looking for full range, both as we point and as we flex. And then we're going to make a few nice big circles to the right. Still hugging that right knee in toward the chest, toward that right armpit. But just getting a little bonus mobilizer into that right ankle. Slow it right down. And then we're going to reverse those circles, opposite direction. Noticing how it feels. Nice and easy. Excellent. Left hand rests on the shin, right arm extends out in line with the shoulder. We're going to shift the hips a little bit to the right and then draw that right leg across the body to the left. Left hand rests on the outer thigh. We're coming into a lovely spinal twist. Gaze goes over the right fingertips, right shoulder is glued to the ground, and that right knee is up in line with the hip. So we're getting a really nice release into that right glute. Noticing if we're not fully in the twist, just shift the hips slightly more to the right. So ideally that right hip is stacked on top of the left and both hip bones are down the center of the mat. Nice big belly breaths here. We're using that belly breath to really mobilize into the core. So breathing as deeply as you can on the inhale. And as you exhale, see if you can release a little bit more. We'll take 1 more breath here. Excellent. Slowly inhale back to center. We're going to hug both knees into the chest, and then we're going to straighten that right leg. Right hand rests on the hip, left hand on the knee. Starting to draw those little circles into the left hip. Again, lower back stays grounded, maybe moving the fingertips to the knee, making the circles a little bit larger. And again, if it feels good, left hand comes to the ground beside us, and we're going to make lovely, large, big, round circles into that left hip, bringing the full length of that left leg into the movement. So again, really exaggerating that space. Don't be afraid to fully straighten that left leg, opening into the hip, draw the knee across the body, feel that glute release. So all those muscles are attached. And the more we move, the more we're going to feel it into that left hip. We're going to reverse the circles, opposite direction. Again, full engagement with the movement, exaggerate the movement. Notice how it feels comparing to the right side. And again, not getting too caught up with it, noticing, acknowledging, maybe it's something we need to look at, but for now, just enjoying the movement that you have within that left hip. We're going to meet back at center when you're ready. Left hand rests on the shin. We're going to really hug that knee into the chest. As we inhale, press the shin into the hand. And as we exhale, work that left knee outside the line of the body toward the ground beside us. So really feel that across the front of the pelvis and into that left hip joint. As we inhale, press the shin into the hand. And as we exhale, work that hip open a little bit more. Keep the lower back rounded. We'll take 2 more breaths here. Nice big belly breaths. Relax the shoulders. 1 more breath. Inhale, hug the left knee back into the chest and then slightly toward that left armpit. So we're still feeling that kind of diagonal stretch. And then we're going to inhale, point through the left toes. And as we exhale, draw the toes toward the knee. So we're inhaling, pointing, continuing to draw that left knee in. Exhale, flex, and continue with your own breath. We should feel all those lower leg muscles engage and release. So even the movement is at the ankle. We're feeling it into the feet and all the way to just below the knee joint. And then we're going to draw a few nice big circles into that left ankle. Again, slow it right down. Trying to iron out any little niggles, any little points of resistance to the movement, just using the movement itself. Each circle getting a little bit rounder, a little bit fuller. And then we're going to reverse those circles in the opposite direction. Nice and easy, nice and slow, slow it right down. Tuning in. Relax the breath, notice if we're holding it. Lovely. And then relax. Hugging the left knee in, right hand rests on the shin, left arm extends out in line with the shoulder palm down. We shift the hips to the left and then draw that left leg across the body to the right. Right hand rests on the outer thigh. Gaze goes over the left fingertips. That left shoulder is glued to the ground. If it's coming off the ground, just place it right back down, even if it means lifting that left knee and then gently work back into your twist. So you're getting that mobilization full length of the spine. Nice big belly breaths here. That right hand resting on the thigh is a nice extra weight. We should really feel that release into the left glute. Bringing out the core, bringing out the spine. We'll take 1 more breath. And then inhale gently back to center. We're going to hug both knees into the chest. Give them a nice little squeeze. As we inhale, press both shins into the hands, and as we exhale, open into the hips. Allow the knees fall apart, allow the heels work away from each other. Relax the shoulders. Every inhale, press shins into hands. Every exhale, open into that hip space a little bit more. We'll take 1 more breath. And then slowly draw those knees back into the chest. We're going to crisscross the ankles. Options to make your way anyway to seat, or you can rock and roll with me 3 times, forward and back along the mat, using the motion to massage the full length of the spine into the ground, using that lovely strong core to draw ourselves forward into seat each time. And when we've done that 3 times, we're going to meet in a nice strong seat at the front of the mat. From here, we're going to bring those hands forward, pressing into the ground. We're going to come back onto all fours into our tabletop. Shoulders over elbows over wrists, elbow creases face forward, knees hip width distance apart, hips over knees. Notice if the belly's collapsed, just gently draw the belly button in and really flatten out that lower back. We're going to inhale, draw the chest forward as we take the gaze up and arch the spine. Exhale, press into the ground, curl through the spine to the gaze back to the belly. Inhale, gaze goes forward and up, arching the spine. Exhale, press into the ground, curl through the spine, tuck the chin into the chest, and continue with your own breath. Nice, generous cat-cow curls. Maybe close down the eyes and just really engage with that movement. Exaggerate, really press those arms strongly into the ground. Elbow creases forward, so check in, those elbows aren't popping out to the sides. No pressure on the shoulder joints, nice and strong. Finding as much space as we can. Anywhere it feels particularly tight or niggly, maybe pause and take an extra couple of breaths into that space. Relax with the movement. Not thinking too much about it, just enjoying the movement. Meeting back in our tabletop at center. We're going to bring the left hand toward the center of the mat. Knees are a little bit further than hip width distance apart to keep them nice and stable. We're going to inhale the right arm up, open the heart. We're going to bend the right elbow and place the palm of the hand to the back of the head and see if we can work that right elbow back a little bit more. Holding it here for 3, for 2, and 1. We're going to release that right elbow. And then inhale, open the heart. Keep the lower back stable if we can. Exhale, allow the elbow release. Inhale, open. Exhale, release. We'll do 1 more. So we're just working into our middle back here. So again, trying to keep that lower back stable if we can, and release. Right hand replaces the left hand. Joints are stacked. We're going to inhale the left arm up and open the heart. Bend the left elbow, bring the palm to the back of the head. Work that left elbow back, holding it here, gazes up for 3, for 2, and 1. Release the head, release the elbow. Inhale, open the heart, keep the hand on the head. Exhale, release. We do that twice more. So again, we're looking for range here, but keeping that lower back stable. Exhale, last one. Lovely. Bring both hands to the ground. We can shift those knees till they're hip width distance apart again. And then we're going to come down onto the forearms. Outer blades of the hands are on the ground. We're going to walk those arms forward and rest the head toward the ground. So we're coming into a little variation on our puppy pose. Pausing here. Allow the chest melt, draw the belly in. Feel that space between the shoulders. Nice and active here. Nice big belly breaths. From here, we're going to tuck the toes under, place the hands to the ground. We're going to press the ground, we'll lift the hips, coming into our downward dog. Exhale, release the knees to the ground, coming down onto the forearms, melt the chest. Inhale, hands to the ground, lift the hips, downward dog. Exhale, down to the knees, drop to the elbows, melt the heart. Back up onto the hands, lift the hips. Downward dog. Continue with your own breath. And again, see if you can make it a little bit smoother as we work through the movement. Maybe see if we can move both hands together, both arms together as we slide. Next time we come into our downward dog, we're going to meet there. And we're going to pause. Really lifting those hips. We're going to press the chest toward the ground, feeling that space between the shoulders, and gently paddle out those feet, allowing opposite heels melt softly toward the ground. Again, not forcing it, particularly if we are recovering from any lower leg injuries.
Just a nice gentle release. Keep drawing the belly in, relax the head, relax the neck. We're going to look forward between the hands and gently walk our way to the front of the mat. Come into a nice wide-legged forward fold. So bring those feet as wide apart as we need, that we can maintain length in the legs, but also a nice long spine. So we're trying not to round or curl too much. Fingertips are either on the ground or on a block if we need an extra little bit of height. Left fingertips stay toward the center. We're going to inhale the right arm up and open the heart. Gaze goes up. Exhale, forward fold. Inhale, left arm up and open the heart. Exhale, release and continue. Inhale, right arm up, gaze follows. Exhale, fold. Inhale, left arm up. Exhale, release. Continue. Pressing that hand into the ground to give ourselves a little bit more leverage into the twist. We're looking for heart space. We're finding a nice little release into the opposite hip as to which arm is in the air. Weight is back into the heels and hips. So again, we should be able to wiggle those toes really easy here. Relax the breath each time we exhale, fully releasing into that fold. We'll take one more, both sides. Last one. Fully releasing into a nice relaxed forward fold. Allow the head, neck, arms, shoulders release. We're going to tuck the chin in and slowly, vertebrae by vertebrae, roll our way all the way up to stand. Head comes up last. And then gently walk those feet toward each other. Take a little drink here if you need. We're going to work into a nice flowy practice for the rest of the class this evening. So when you're ready, we're going to meet at the front of the mat. Maybe just have your block toward the front of the mat in case we need it further on. So just a little bit of space out in front to begin with. Feet are nicely grounded, about hip width distance apart, really spreading through the toes, really rooting into our foundation. Relax the shoulders back, draw the belly in, gazes forward, palms flip forward. We're going to inhale, lift the right knee out in front, bringing the hands to the hips, standing balance here. We're going to inhale with the knee at center. And as we exhale, see if we can open that right knee outward. So keep the hips pointed forward. All that movement is at the right hip. Inhale, knee back out in front. Exhale, open the hip as wide as we can. Inhale, knee to the front. Exhale, open. Last one, inhale, knee to the front. Exhale, open the hip. Inhale, knee to front. This time as we exhale, soften the left knee. We're going to step back onto the ball of the right foot into a nice high lunge. Adjust the feet as you need. We're going to drop the right heel down, extend the arms into our warrior. Palms face down, softening into the left knee, checking in that left heel is bisecting the arch of the back foot. Inhale, straighten the left leg, arms together overhead, look up. Exhale, bend the left knee, open the arms, warrior lunge. Inhale, lengthen and rise. Exhale, warrior lunge. Two more. Maybe following that middle left finger with the gaze. So again, mobilizing into those hips, into that left knee. Again, only going as deep as feels good for you. Keeping the arms and shoulders nice and strong. Meeting in a warrior, we're going to straighten the left leg, bring the hands to hips. We're going to bring that left foot parallel to the right. So again, adjust the feet if you need. And we're going to splay the feet out now at about 10 o'clock and 2 o'clock on the clock. Hands stay on the waist. We're going to soften into the knees and slowly lower ourselves into our goddess squat. Again, we're not leaning forward, we're not leaning back. Center of gravity down through the midline of the body. Notice that the knees are collapsing inward. We're going to try to engage with those hips to open. Hands are rested to the inner thighs, shoulders relaxed. We're going to inhale center, and as we exhale, twist to the right. Inhale center, exhale, twist to the left. Back to center, exhale to the right. Back to center, exhale to the left. Last one, both sides. Again, only going as deep as feels good for those hips. Inhale back to center and exhale, straighten the legs. Lovely. Bringing those hands to heart center. Again, those feet are still splayed outward. We're going to inhale the arms out, reaching up, palms together, gaze goes up. As we exhale, sit back into our goddess squat. We're going to bring those hands toward heart center. Inhale, lengthening the legs, opening the arms, look up. Exhale, hands to heart as we lower into our squat, and continue with your own breath. Maybe following those hands up with the gaze and forward as we exhale. Only sinking as deeply as feels good for your hips and hamstrings. So don't force it. Again, weight is back into the heels and the hips. Shoulders relaxed. We'll do one more. Meeting in our squat, we're going to bring the hands down to the ground, and we're going to walk those heels as close together as we can, that we can maintain the heels on the ground, and we can keep those hands to the ground, or we can bring them to the heart center. Notice if we're collapsing, we're rounding forward, you can try bringing the hands behind you, just to start with, just so that you can kind of get that space in the hips without compressing into the front of the body. If it feels good, we can bring the hands to heart, but again, we're keeping the heart open and we're keeping that spine nice and long. We're just going to pause here for a couple of moments, taking the gaze forward, nice and relaxed for 3. This is really good for those ankles and shins as well. For 2. And 1. Bring the hands to the ground. We're going to tap the right knee down. Inhale back to center. Exhale, tap the left knee down. Inhale, center, exhale, tap it to the right, back to center, tap it to the left, and continue with your own breath. Again, if you want to challenge the movement, you can always bring the hands to heart, but just try not to let those knees drop down. So it's a full controlled movement, a little bit trickier. We're going to meet back at center when you're ready. Place the hands to the ground and slowly press into the ground. We're going to straighten the legs and just allow ourselves into a nice relaxed fold here for a couple of moments. Releasing the head, releasing the neck, releasing the lower back. Gently tuck the chin in. We're going to slowly rise back up to stand. Left foot points forward, spacing those legs nice and wide. We're going to move back into our warrior. Extend the arms, palms face down. Cartwheeling both hands down either side of the left foot, coming onto the ball of the right. So we're going to step the left foot back to meet right into a nice strong plank. For the first round, we're just going to hold it here. Shoulders over elbows over wrists, elbow creases face forward. Nice straight line from the back of the neck to the heels. If we find it's a little bit too much in the shoulders, you can drop to the knees, but maintain that nice straight line, neck to knees, holding it, pressing the ground away, active through those arms for 3. For 2. And 1. Exhale, knees, chest, chin to the ground, elbows in. Roll the heart forward, untuck the toes. Press the feet into the ground, lift the chest. Exhale, tuck the toes. Press the ground away, lift the hips. Downward dog, nice and easy. Stillness or walk it out to your choice. Relax the head, relax the neck. Relax the breath. From stillness in our downward dog, we're going to inhale the right leg up, looking forward, bend the right knee into the chest. We're going to bring the body weight forward until we can step that right foot between the hands. Left foot to meet it, and then exhale, forward fold. Inhale, rolling up to center, hands extended up, palms together. Exhale, hands to heart. Second side, again, just make sure you have a little bit of space out front. Feet nicely grounded, particularly rooting that right foot into the ground. Relax the shoulders, flip the palms forward, gaze is relaxed. We're going to inhale, lift the left knee out in front. Just notice if that right hip is collapsed outward. We're bringing both hips level and parallel to the front of the room. Hands come to the waist. We're going to inhale here, and as we exhale, open that left hip outward. Inhale, knee to center. Exhale, open that left. Continuing with your own breath, so we should really feel that left glute engage. And we're trying to get as much space, but without rotating the full body. We're just rotating that hip. Last one to the side. Inhale, knee back to center. As we exhale, soften the right knee. We're going to step back on to the ball of the left foot into a nice high lunge. Relax, sink the body into the lunge. We're going to drop the left heel down, extend the arms, palms are open. Shoulders nice and relaxed, looking over that right middle finger in our warrior. Inhale, straighten the right leg, arms together overhead, look up. Exhale, bend the right knee, warrior lunge. Inhale, lengthen and rise. Exhale, warrior lunge. Two more to your own breath. Again, if you want to challenge the balance, we're following the middle right finger with the gaze. Last one. Meeting in our warrior, this time cartwheel both hands down either side of the right foot, coming on to the ball of the left. Gently bring that right foot back to meet left into a nice strong plank. A little bit of a challenge here. Option to either drop to the knees or use alternating knees. So we're going to inhale and plank. As we exhale, bend the right knee out to the side and see if we can step that right foot forward with control as high up as we can go. Inhale, feet together, plank. Exhale, bend the left knee out. We're going to step that left foot again as far up as we can go. Inhale, feet together. Exhale, staying in our plank, right foot. Inhale, feet together. Exhale, left. Inhale, feet together. This time, stepping that right foot up as far as we can go, even if it takes a couple of steps, so we're just going to allow the hips melt. We can stay on or off that left knee. We're going to pause here for 3. For 2. And 1. Inhale, feet together. Exhale, bend the left knee. Again, stepping it as far up to the left, even if we need to take multiple steps here. Release the hips. Again, knee on or off the ground for 3. For 2. And 1. Inhale, feet together. As we exhale, knees, chest, chin to the ground, elbows in. Roll the heart forward, untuck the toes, press the feet into the ground, lift the chest. As we exhale, tuck the toes, press the ground, we lift the hips, downward dog. Stillness or walk it out to your choice. Relax the head, relax the neck, relax the breath. From stillness in our downward dog, we're going to inhale the left leg up, looking forward, bend the left knee into the chest. Bring the body weight forward so we can step that left foot between the hands, nice and slow, right foot to meet it. And then exhale, fold. Inhale, rolling up through center. Hands extended up, palms together. Exhale, hands to heart. Lovely. Take a little drink if you need. We're going to go into a second round. Throwing in a few variations as we do. When you're ready, kneeling at the front of the mat, feet nicely grounded, hip width distance apart. Hands come to heart this time, relax the shoulders, draw the belly in. We'll inhale the arms out, reaching up, palms together. Exhale, swan dive, forward fold. Inhale, gaze forward, hands to shins, nice flat back. Exhale, fold. Stepping right foot back to lunge, right hand stays in the ground. Inhale, left arm up and open the heart. As we exhale, try that left hand underneath the right armpit as we twist. Inhale, left arm up and open the heart. Exhale, left hand underneath the right armpit. 2 more. Inhale, open the heart, gaze follows. Exhale, thread it through. Last one, inhale, open. This time as we exhale, place that left hand back down to the ground. Dropping the right heel down, engage the core, make our way into our warrior. Extend the arms, palms face down, softening into the left knee, gazes forward. Inhale, lengthen the left leg, arms together overhead, let go. Exhale, bend the left knee, warrior lunge. 3 more to your own breath. Really engaging with those shoulders as we bring the arms right back in line with the ears. Keep pressing the outer blade of that right foot strongly into the ground. Last one. Meeting in our warrior lunge, we're going to place the right hand on the back leg. Inhale the left arm up, flip the palm as we exhale, reach the left arm to the back of the room, looking over the shoulder for 3, for 2, and 1. Inhale back to warrior as we exhale, rest the left forearm on the front leg. We're going to inhale the right arm back, up toward the ceiling, and as we exhale, reach it all the way to the front of the room and maybe take the gaze up. Arm is right back in line with the ear. We're opening into the front of the body for 3. Opening into that left hip for 2. And 1. Inhale back to warrior center. And as we exhale, cartwheel both hands down either side of the left foot. Coming on to the ball of the right. Gently step the left foot back to meet right. Inhale here in plank. Exhale, knees, chest, chin to the ground, elbows in. Roll the heart forward, untuck the toes. Press the feet into the ground, lift the chest. Exhale, release toward the mat. We're going to come on to our forearms. Pressing those forearms into the ground, shoulders are stacked over the elbows. We're coming into our Sphinx. We're going to inhale here, and as we exhale, look over the right shoulder. Inhale, center. Exhale, look gently to the left. Inhale, center. Exhale to the right. Back to center. Exhale to the left. Last one, both sides. Staying strong in those shoulder joints. Back to center, release the chest. Bringing those hands back in line with the chest. We're going to tuck both toes under. Press the ground away, lift the hips. Downward dog. Again, stillness or walk it out, your choice. Relax the head, relax the neck. Noticing where the breath is at. Notice if it's caught up in the chest. Try to draw it a little bit deeper down into the belly. Meeting in stillness here. We're going to inhale the right leg up, looking forward, bend the right knee into the chest. We're going to step the right foot forward between the hands. Coming high up onto the finger pads. We're going to inhale here, and as we exhale, allow those hips sink toward the ground. We can stay on or off that left knee. Inhale, lengthen through the spine. Exhale, allow those hips sink a little bit more. 2 more breaths, nice and strong. Again, if that left knee feels unstable, do allow it to come to the ground. Last one. Hands are flat to the ground. We're going to gently shift the body weight forward and bring that left foot up to meet right. And exhale, fold. Inhale, rolling up through center, hands extended up, palms together. Exhale, swan dive, forward fold. Inhale, gaze forward, hands to shins. Exhale, fold. Stepping left foot back to lunge, left hand stays on the ground. Inhale the right arm up and open the heart, take the gaze up. This time as we exhale, try that right hand underneath the left armpit and reach to the left. Inhale, right arm up and open the heart. Exhale, tread right hand underneath the left armpit and reach. 2 more. Trying to create as much space as we can, really engaging with that right shoulder. Last one. And then we're going to bring that right hand back down to the ground. Dropping the left heel down, engage the core, make our way into our warrior. Extend the arms, palms face down, softening into that right knee. Inhale, straighten the right leg, arms together overhead, look up. Exhale, bend the right knee, warrior lunge. 3 more to your own breath. Again, sinking as deeply as it feels good in that right hip. Keep checking in that right knee is pointed forward and it's not collapsing toward the left. So we're really engaging that right hip. Last 2. Last one. Meeting in our warrior, we're going to rest the left hand on the back leg. Inhale the right arm up, flip the palm, and as we exhale, reach the right arm to the back of the room. That right knee is still bent. We're still softening into the hips for 3. For 2. And one, inhale back to warrior center. As we exhale, rest the right forearm on the front leg. We'll inhale the left arm back up toward the ceiling. And as we exhale, reach the left arm all the way overhead. Arm is right back in line with the ear. We might take the gaze up for 3. For 2. And 1, inhale back to warrior center. As we exhale, cartwheel both hands down either side of the right foot, coming on to the ball of the left foot. We're going to bring the right foot back to meet left. Nice strong plank. Inhale here, exhale, knees, chest, chin to the ground, elbows in. Roll the heart forward, untuck the toes, press the feet into the ground, lift the chest. And again, release down onto the mat. Shifting the body back so that we can reach forward through the fingertips, reach back through the toes. So a full nice long body here. Forehead is rested to the ground to start with. We're going to inhale, lift the right hand and the left leg as high as we can possibly go. Feeling that right shoulder and that left glute engage for 3. Release the breath for 2. And 1, relax. Inhale, left hand, right foot as high as we can go. Really lifting here. Neck is relaxed for 3. For 2. And 1, release. This time we're just going to bring the arms, inhale both arms. Ears is slightly forward for 3. For 2. And 1, release. This time the feet, inhale, lift. Again, as high as we can go. We're really feeling those glutes, hamstrings, a little bit lower back for 3. Lift for 2. And 1, release. This time all 4 limbs. Inhale, lift. So it's just the hips and belly here that are on the ground. Neck is still relaxed. Gaze is only slightly forward for 3. Lift for 2. And 1. Release. Making a little pillow by putting one hand on top of the other. Resting the forehead. And just gently rocking those hips side to side. So again, if you're wanting to develop a little bit more lower back glute strength, that's a really nice one. We're really trying to engage with the whole posterior of the body there. And you can hold them for a little bit longer. But for now, shifting our way back onto the mat, if we've come off it, we're going to bring the hands back in line with the chest, tuck the toes under, press the ground away, lift the hips, downward dog. Again, walk it out or stillness, whatever feels better for you. From stillness, we're going to inhale the left leg up, looking forward, bend the left knee into the chest, bringing the body weight forward until we can step that left foot between the hands. Coming up onto the finger pads, that left knee is stacked over the heel. We're going to inhale, lengthen, and as we exhale, release that right hip. Inhale, lengthen. Again, knee can come to the ground if it feels better. 2 more breaths here. Last one. This time, hands come to the ground. We're going to step the left foot back to meet right, lift the hips, downward dog. Walk it out or stillness, your choice. We're going to work into our pigeon for our last couple of poses. Relax the heart, relax the head, relax the neck. From here, inhale the right leg up. We're going to bend the right knee and we're going to place it behind the right wrist as we move forward. Resting the shin toward the ground. We're going to rest the left knee down, untuck the toe and walk that left foot back as far as we can possibly go. Right shin is at about 30 to 45 degrees angle to the front of the mat. We're drawing that right toe toward the knee, keeping the lower leg active. And we're going to come up onto the finger pads here. So we should feel a nice release into the front of the left hip and into that right hip joint. If this is too strong and we feel uncomfortable, particularly on the knees, you can come over onto that right hip and come into 90 degrees with the legs, okay? So again, listen to your own body here, particularly if the knee feels a little bit, what would I say, unstable. So you want to feel stable in this pose. You want to feel that you can actually release the hands in this pose. Drawing the belly in. Again, we can stay here in our proud pigeon, or if we want to relax a little bit deeper into the hips, we can walk those hands forward. We can come down onto the forearms. We can reach forward through the fingertips and rest the head either to the ground, to a block, or to a cushion. Or we can make a little pillow by piling one hand on top of the other and resting the forehead here. So whatever feels good for you. Notice if you're in pigeon and you have a tendency to fall over onto that right hip, just gently press that left hip downwards. So we're still getting a little release into the left side. It is predominantly into the right if we've fallen forward. We're going to pause here for about a minute. So I want you to feel a space that you feel comfortable releasing into. So you can come up onto the elbows, come up onto the hands. Just make sure you feel that you're releasing as opposed to holding your pigeon. Allow the belly melt, allow the heart melt, allow the shoulders melt. So whether we're sitting proud or whether we've come forward, either way, we're just sinking into those hips. Trying to release any tension that we're holding on to in any part of the body. So again, definitely working more toward flexibility here. So I wouldn't start a class with our pigeon. This is a nice one to do at the end when those joints have been mobilized, those muscles have been activated. And now we can just allow ourselves to soften and get a nice little bit of restoration with our pigeon. And there is a place for flexibility. There is a place for static poses. So it's a really nice thing to finish the day on or finish the session. It's also a really nice way of stimulating the parasympathetic system. So it gives you that kind of sense of release and relaxation. So it doesn't all have to be about the physical. So after a certain amount of time, that stretch is not going to get you any further physically, but it might still give you that lovely sensation of release and relax. Again, not thinking too much. Just feeling that nice space, no pain, no numbness, no tingling. And if you're feeling any of those, back off nice and gently, maybe come into your 90-90. Or just relax in your child's pose. So a couple of more breaths on this side, nice and easy. Allow the body soften, literally melting toward the ground. One more breath, nice deep belly breath. And then if we have fallen forward, we're going to gently tuck the chin in, come back up onto the forearms. We're going to press the hands into the ground, come back up onto the finger pads. Just sit here, allow ourselves to reset for a couple of moments in our proud pigeon. And then we can bring the hands slightly forward of the body. Tuck the left toe under, come off the left knee, and really slowly bring the right foot around to meet left, lifting the hips and walking it out gently in our downward dog or any other movement that feels better for you. Just getting a little bit of blood flow back into that right hip. Coming to stillness in our downward dog, last side, we're going to inhale the left leg up, looking forward, we bend the left knee, we're going to place it softly behind the left wrist. Rest the shin down, rest the right knee, untuck that right toe, and we're going to walk it back as far as we can possibly go. Again, left shin parallel, 30-45 degrees to the front of the mat. Maybe draw that toe toward the knee to keep the lower leg active. Coming high up onto the finger pads to start with. Notice if we're compressing that lower back. So really drawing the belly button in here. And again, if it's too much on the left hip, if it's too much on the knee, come into your 90 degree legs by bringing that left hip down. Left shin would be parallel to the front edge of the mat. And again, we can stay here, relaxing the shoulders, opening into the heart. Or if we want to focus that space into our hips, we're going to gently fold forward, coming down onto the forearms. We might stay here, that might be enough. Relax the head, relax the neck. We might walk the hands forward a little bit more. Resting the head. So making sure that head is supported, particularly if it's just floating off the ground, either with a block. And even if it's something that you're working towards, so maybe you're not folding forward so deep, you can always rest your head onto the chair or a box or a low table. So loads of options here. But for now, just go into a space that you feel comfortable releasing into for again, just about a minute, no longer. Maybe make a little cushion by piling one hand and one fist on top of the other. Allow the hips melt. Again, notice if you're kind of predominantly leaning over to your left side, just press that right hip a little bit closer toward the ground. Allow the belly melt, allow the chest melt. And as we work through the pose, you might find the body softening and melting a little bit closer toward the ground. Head and neck relaxed. Nice big belly breaths. Again, using that belly breath to mobilize into the core. And again, no pain here. If we're feeling pain, back out of the pose slowly. Really feeling that left hip relax and release. We take 2 more nice long breaths here. Last one. Gently tuck the chin in. We're going to come back up onto the forearms if we've fallen forward. Gently come back up onto the hands, up onto the finger pads, bring them outside the body and just allow ourselves to sink into our proud pigeon for the last couple of breaths. And then slowly we're going to bring those hands back out in front. We're going to tuck the right toe under, gently off the knee, and really slowly bring the left foot around to meet right. Lift the hips and walk it out one last time in our downward dog. Nice and slowly, bringing any little movement into the body that feels good. Maybe bring a little swagger to our walk. Maybe make wave-like motions with the spines, whatever feels good. Just let it happen. Not thinking about too much of how it looks like. And just enjoying that blood flow, that energy, that release. We're going to meet in stillness in our downward dog. Gently release down onto the knees. We're going to bring the big toes to touch. Sitting back toward the heels, we make a little pillow by piling one hand or one fist on top of the other, resting the forehead or onto a block if it doesn't quite reach. And one last time, we're going to rock the hips side to side, releasing any last little bit of tension that we're holding on to, be it physical, mental, emotional. Breathing it out, allowing the body melts, the chest melts, the belly melts, the breath sink us a little bit deeper toward the earth. And then gently come into stillness here in our child's pose. Taking one last full body breath. So really drawing that breath as deep as you can into the belly, moving it through the rib cage, into the chest, through the neck. And as you exhale, just sigh it out, release and let it go. When you're ready, we're going to tuck the chin in. Pressing the hands into the ground, we're going to slowly walk those hands back toward the knees until we're sitting back up onto the heels. And we can finish our practice here, or we can come into any other seated position that feels better for you this evening. And wherever we are, just come into a nice strong seat. So again, tuning back in with that open heart, that lengthened spine, that lovely strong core. We're going to open the palms to the ceiling. And we'll finish like we started. Inhale the arms out, reach it up. Interlock fingers, press palms to ceiling. As we exhale, press the palms forward, release the breath, sigh it out and let it go. And we do that 2 more times. And then gently bring the hands to heart, press the palms together, close down the eyes, and just thank yourselves for creating a little bit of space in your evening to come to the mat, to look after yourselves, to create some lovely energy, some lovely release, and hopefully take that with you into the evening and into the week ahead. And thank you for sharing your practice and your energy with me. Namaste.